start recording. Hopefully my computer can handle this. Let's just do a quick unorganized roll call where everyone talks at once.
All right, sounds good. Yamos Falcon and I come from Wisconsin, the upper Midwest there. Hey there, howdy.
I am Tinkan.
So did anybody catch Critical Role last night?
No.
We are live, by the way. So
Joe?
if we could not,
only on the second episode.
if we could not do product placement, that'd
That's
be
a
good.
product placement? By the way, what a
DN.
delicious RC Cola.
Just taking a sip of this.
Dude, RC Cola is
No one can see what you guys are sipping, but because we're in Discord, that's funny. We got a little.
I finished
a little
this
RB,
in one go.
a little DP.
Zero sugar DP. Now available.
Hey,
in
bro,
stores.
zero sugar A&W. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
I'm upset. I'm visibly upset. Mostly because I did that to myself.
And pizza.
Everybody loves pizza, brand pizza.
General generic brand pizza.
I had veggies.
This is brought to you by pizza. Just eat it.
Don't you
What is
dare
that?
All
say
the
what it,
nutrition triangle in a pizza.
it's a nutrition. Pass the nutrition triangle, please.
This stream brought to you by Legs. Running, kicking, jumping. Everything you need. Legs. From the makers of Arm.
Who are the makers of arms?
Now with toes.
Mom?
Now with toes.
Now with more toes.
The DLC just dropped. More toes.
Oh, you want nails? No, we're just toes. If you want nails, then we gotta talk. Wait,
Premium option.
What
It can be
Toes-
arranged.
The new toes are growing out where the nails were.
that was a day one subscriber release. Sorry.
Patreon only.
Not available anymore. Clutch. Mighty Dungeon. Game log. Heck yes. Heck yes. Bam. Bam.
Bam, Bamuel.
Bam, Daniel.
We can't start that. We can't start that voice.
Not before something
What?
serious, that's for sure.
Watch me.
Oh, God.
No, please don't.
So anyway,
What'd you think?
how'd you like my rap video?
By the way, guys, don't forget to turn your dice 180 degrees at about the 2.5 minute mark here. We don't want to overcook one side. For those of you warming your dice in a wok, make sure that you're using constant motion to keep those babies rolling around in the saute juice, aka the butter.
Right. Today we're gonna be cooking delicious Roll20 dice. The most excellent Roll20.
Seasoned beautifully with a little bit of sprinkly, sparkly goodness.
Just smell the dice.
What snack is Gabriel chewing on right now?
A Milky Way.
Please, no product placement.
They make those in Zalargo, right?
Yeah. But instead of caramel, it's honey.
Which means it's healthy.
Healthy.
post this to a story really quick. Advertise it at least a little bit.
Oh yeah, Twitter.
Dude, screw Twitter.
I say that like I got a following anyways.
Oh my god, I hate Twitter.
Me
Let's go.
too, man. It's so toxic. Oh my gosh.
It's useless. It's now just like post something interesting or a meme or get the fuck out.
Yeah. I'm about to delete mine.
Hey Twitter, shut up and watch this. Twitch.tv
Yeah, idiots.
/ Kugo the Mighty. .. Idiots.
Yeah, idiots.
All right, as soon as I hit post on this, we're just gonna start because I made us late this time with my tech difficulties. But I think we're ready to go. It's gonna be a saucy session.
Oh, hold on, I gotta grab my Zalargo.
What the?
It's my prescription.
Look, you can see my.
Zalargo.
Look at this. You can see my telescope.
Nice. It's like you're holding it.
Yeah. It's no big deal, really. Just try to.
All right, posted. Posted. I wish I had more table. I need more tables. Okay, we're not even gonna do this 2 minutes left. We're just gonna go ahead.
I knew it.
It's fake. Woo! Not even real. All right, let me bring down the music here for a second. Bring down the bottage. Alrighty, everyone. Let's try a little bit of this. Someday soon that will have a sound effect attached to it. But everything does seem to be working, which is a really good thing. Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Mighty Dungeon, Episode 2, as you can see above, which I have dubbed The Color Gray, which we will find out about soon. Hello, everybody in the live chat over on twitch.tv/Kugo the Mighty. It's gonna be a good one today. I feel like this is the session where this might be the first time the group is alone with themselves. I'm thinking about it right now. Let's go around and say hello to everybody in the game right now. Starting off at the top, my good editor friend of mine, and just friend of mine, Franco. What's up, man? Say hello.
Hello, good night, everybody.
Next up, we got Go Zero, who's playing Gabriel.
Yo, yo.
I didn't say what Franco's character's name was because we haven't named him yet. It's not a thing yet. We have our good friend Jordan, PH is Silent, who just put out an awesome video on their YouTube channel.
Thank you. Yeah, go check it out if you like Eberron. I've got videos. And that's me. I'm Jordan. Hi.
Yes, if you want to find out a little bit more about maybe the backstory of Jordan's character, there's a lot of really useful resources over there, and perhaps about the origins of the rest of the characters on the cast. Really good content over there. We got my streamer buddy and good friend, Katie Wolf. Caleb playing Darrow.
Hey, y'all.
And Marstone.
Hi.
Well, does anybody have anything they want to shout out before we get the episode started today? I'm very excited.
I just called all my Twitter following idiots if you guys want to follow me there and receive the same treatment.
Okay. Do you
That's it.
want to say what your tag is, or do you just want to tease
No,
them?
go find me.
Oh, that's funny. Anybody else have anything else they want to shout out or say before we get started?
I'm streaming.
San Andreas High School football rules.
That's it.
Awesome. Guys, real quick, let's get everybody caught up to speed here really quick. So, go into the chat here, get the old music going. So,
Yo, Kugo.
what's up? I forgot I had alerts on.
I tested those.
Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Let me bring this music up again. Music. There we go. Okay, so to lead us into episode 2, The Color Gray. In episode 1, The group, all coming from their various origins, found themselves in a place called Eberron Keep, which sits on the very edge of the river that separates the country of Thrain from the Mournlands, a towering 1,000-foot tall mass of swirling faces of smoke and mist. They were all kept here by the leader and representative of House Madani, Chanara, a half-elf with a badass artificer rifle, who is there and charged to keep watch and deliver information about the Mournland's pressing borders to the countries that she has dealings with, including the countries that are represented by 2 of our players who are there to check in. After a creature erupted, after 2 creatures erupted from the Mournlands that sent the whole keep into a state of shock and panic. After that was taken care of, their new warforged acquaintance, Discovery, and the rest of the group were forced to stay within the keep's walls until everything got figured out. In the meantime, Chanara sent out scouts to try to track down the Mist Stalker that had been shot through the center mass and had flown away. After these groups came back to the fort and the player group was sat in the barracks, resting, talking to each other, getting to know each other a little bit, one young soldier in particular came back with the group looking very worried. Chanara, noticing something was wrong with the soldier, took the soldier aside and then found out that this soldier withheld information about something mysterious that was growing in the forest just to the north, where 2 of our players, Darrow and Zyxx, had come from before. At this very moment, the keep went on high alert once more, as devices that they used to track the walls of the Mournland sensed that the mist was getting closer to the river and closer to the keep. With all of their forces focused on this moving wall, Chanara reached out to the player party to go check in on what this one soldier was too scared to report. And so they headed north back into the forest, just north of the keep. Upon reaching there, they found a blackened whirlpool of sorts, sunk into the very place where Darrow had picked a branch from the tree. Surrounding this whirlpool of swirling black ink-like substance was a marching order of small, luminescent white and gray bugs marching around the outer border of it. And upon reaching there and inspecting it, they heard the cry one more time of a familiar foe. As the Mist Stalker swooped in, wound still open in its chest, screeched, and began to attack. Things were looking very grim for our warforged friend, who was slashed and then picked up by the creature, raised 15 feet above this swirling pool, until Darrow leaped off a tree and reached up to the moonlight, pulling down energy from the moon itself, causing a giant beam of light to soar down in a cylinder, not only through the Mist Stalker, which screamed in agony, but also through the Warforged companion, who is dropped, falling very slowly, almost seemingly in slow motion towards the swirling black energy. Zyxx leaped to try to jump and push him, to no avail. as he was too small and too weak. Hanging on to the Warforged's back, it seemed that it was all going to come to an end before heroically Marstone stepped forward and used his strength to yank both of them ashore, just to the left of where this black, swirling energy started. Using his weapon, special to him, to give himself leverage, and pulling everyone back away from this whirlpool. The hilt of the weapon was sucked in, and like black ink and ooze, encapsulates the weapon until it disappeared. And as they all sit around this swirling pool, they forget one key thing. A singular, small, radiant sphere, a sacred flame cast, had also fallen side by side with the Warforged and was about to hit the pool. And that is where we're gonna pick up on episode 2 of The Mighty Dungeon. The world of Eberron and the catastrophic magical nuke that set off the Mourning, a towering 1,000-foot tall wall of thick mist that erupted and consumed 1/4 of the entire continent. Every single D&D sourcebook alludes to maybe what caused it, but there's no official answer. So that's why every Friday, 5 p.m. PST, twitch.tv/Kugo the Mighty, we're gonna find out together. I'm sorry, was that immersion breaking? Should we go back to the thing? Now, we pick back up.
Oh, thanks. I've been holding my breath forever. Ah!
Who cast Sacred Flame?
I did.
Roll damage for Sacred Flame.
Do. 4.
4. So, this ball of white radiant light hits the vortex of this black swirling energy. And almost as if beneath water, you sort of hear this boom. As quickly as if a paint bomb had been sent off down into this thing, swirls of white begin to glow a radiant light and start spinning around and around and around and around and around. As they keep spinning around, the radiant light seems to solidify inside this blackened, it's goopy almost, and it starts churning over itself, almost like the two colors of white and black are fighting each other. A liquid, goopy black substance and this light that's solidifying and causing friction. It's no longer spinning in a fluid way. It's now turning over itself, not unlike the walls of the Mournlands. You can slowly hear the churning of this pool in front of you. What do you all do?
I'm gonna keep an eye out for any halberd-shaped shadows in the newly lightened dark goo.
Okay, you stare intently at it.
I'm gonna crawl away from the pool as far as I can, lean on a rock maybe,
Sure, you got it.
and
You-
you see how his the light on his eyes are flickering, like sporadically. He's clearly banged up, so I'm gonna sit down and kind of take a look at my body and see how much damage I have taken, and I'm gonna take a little bit, a few minutes to rest up.
You said the pool, like, looks like the mist from the Mournland?
It's the light that has been sent into the pool has it churning like the mist was. When you arrived, this pool was swirling in a perfect vortex. Smooth, natural. Now that the light has entered this vortex, it seems to be fighting it, trying to swallow it up, while the radiant energy is trying to... Why don't you make an Arcana check?
Yeah. 6.
The light energy is solidifying, which is obviously being churned in and causing, friction. It's a very choppy vortex now that seems to be fighting with this radiant white light that seems to duck down into this black substance and then erupt to the surface again, over and over and over again.
Okay. So, seeing that, Gabriel is going to take a couple of steps towards the pool. He's going to put out his hand and cast Sacred Flame again.
All right. Also, I'll have Zyxx make a...
Oh, jeez.
Let's see. Zyxx, make a history check.
Womp, womp, womp.
Starting off good. We're starting off good.
Okay.
I have never seen that before.
All right. So for a natural 1, yeah, you're like staring at this thing, and your bugs skitter away from you again.
Oh, my little friends, come back. No.
As soon as you say that, they all slowly turn and come back to you, hearing your command.
Okay.
They seem to be called to this march of these other bugs that are storming around the outside of this whirlpool. But upon your command, they return immediately.
I mean, all bugs have to leave the nest sometime, but I thought I had a couple more years with you guys.
It's so sad. Okay, Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
This thing's not gonna dodge your Sacred Flame. Do damage.
Okay. That's another 4 points of radiant damage.
Okay. Everyone sees Gabriel step up, hold up his hand, close his eyes, and 10 feet in the air above the portal, another ball of radiant silver light begins to fall downwards. It falls slow, even though time is not slowing down. Gabriel looks like he's focused on sending this thing accurately down into the center of this vortex as it slowly falls down. Does anybody else do anything? Or we're just watching?
Gonna watch it hit.
Okay.
I'm gonna, after a few moments of like getting my bearings back, I'm gonna stand up and stand next to Gabriel. And I'm gonna look down at this pool, and I'm gonna kneel and I'm gonna put my hand over it, safe distance away, like maybe a feet away. And I'm gonna start flickering my eyes again, and as my eyes flicker, the rune on my forehead also flickers, and a few lights run down from my shoulder in between the plates of my armor, both hands now. And I'm gonna start casting Identify as a ritual, so it's gonna take 10 minutes. And I'm gonna start doing that, trying to see if I can recognize anything, I can get any information from this.
Okay. So, read for me Identify as this Warforged with parts of its neck plating like ripped off. On the back, there are tubes leaking different fluids and wires just sparking all over the place as the Warforged like limps over next to Gabriel, who is currently focusing on his sacred flame.
All right, so I'm gonna dip one finger in because I need to be touching the object.
Oh. Okay.
If it's a magic item or some other magic imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement to use and how many charges it has. Learn whether any spells are affecting the item, and if the item was created by a spell, I get to know which spell.
Okay. So. Just to reiterate, you have to make contact with the object, correct?
Yes, sir. I dip a finger into it.
All right. I'm going to DM you something because I will give you some information about this. The cost when you touch the black substance. Gabriel, you open up your eyes as you see your sacred flame about to reach the middle of this vortex. The Warforged puts his hand into the black substance and is pulled into the vortex. Almost like a fish being yanked out of the water. In his frail, weakened state, the Warforged just goes. And you see him whip around in a circle, immediately get submerged. You see an arm come up and grip onto a piece of solidified light energy swirling around like an ice cube. It flops until you do not see him.
Help!
Did anybody just see the robot go into the water?
The sacred flame erupts and hits the bottom of the vortex. And almost like ice sealing over water, the vortex starts slowing down, and from the middle, it starts sealing up in white energy.
I'm going to produce, if I have it. Hold on. Let me make sure I have this piece of equipment.
I'm going to produce
a piece of
Warforged.
rope. Yeah, no, I need a piece of
I'm
rope.
gonna tie a rope around my waist that I have.
I've got 50 feet. I'm going to, if I see Zyxx doing that, I'm going to add to his, what I have, like a double dub rope. I'm going to explain it.
I've got rope too. I've got 50 feet of rope.
I'm gonna say, Bugs, protect me.
I'm
You
gonna
guys pull
wrap
me
it
back in, right? Okay,
I'm
bye.
gonna wrap it
I'm
around
gonna
my
jump really
waist
high,
and then
'cause I still
tie
have that spell.
the other
I'm gonna
into
do a cool flip. and dive
Marstone.
right into it.
So we're like all roped up.
So I heard a lot of information.
Yep.
Zyxx is got a rope tied around him and is jumping in. I heard backflip in there somewhere.
Yeah, I was gonna jump because I got the jump spell on me, so I'm gonna jump really high, do like
Okay.
a cool flip, and then like dive in. Yeah.
All right.
And he's tied to Marstone.
Okay.
Then Marstone's tied to me.
Okay.
I believe that's how that's going. Yeah.
Okay.
And I say bugs protect me because I want them to protect me.
Okay. The bugs start skittering around you frantically, not sure what to do. A couple of them go onto the rope in an effort to hold the rope together tighter, and you backflip into an outer edge of this pool that is still covered in this black energy. And you go in. And there's sort of like this spray of black and white globules of light that erupt, not unlike water, but continue to float in the air indefinitely until they fade. As soon as he jumps, I know you want to do something, Gabriel, but as soon as he jumps in, who's connected to Zyxx?
I am.
You
Marstone.
immediately go. You immediately get yanked. Immediately. Who's attached to Marstone?
I am.
Darrow immediately get yanked straight in after the only thing as Zyxx goes, here I go, and jumps in and this energy kind of washes up into the air. Marstone just goes, you see him like plant his legs, right? And immediately Marstone just like getting tugged on it's like the rug just got swept out from under him and he just goes, "Ugh!" And he just immediately just flies into it, dragged across the ground and then slides right into the edge of it. Same thing happens to you, Darrow. You're like, oh no, no, no. And blah, you get yanked right after Marstone into the edge. At this point, this white radiant energy is sealing up whatever this thing is slowly. It's about halfway up from the center of the vortex of this thing now, forming a light, brilliant white cone inside.
As we're like spinning around, I'm like trying to see Gabriel. They're like, Gabriel!
Yeah, you hear like,
Like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
like,
Gabriel
over and over.
is like frantically at the edge of the pool, like his hands are out, like
Yep.
what if, like
Your radiant light is currently still sealing it up.
are they sucked down?
They're gone.
Like they're gone?
They're gone.
I just like clap my hands together, like, well, goodbye. Just walk away.
Cool adventure, bye.
So Gabriel is still like pacing on the outside of this this pool, just like, what, do I go in?
You're like through this like white energy and the sound of wind.
So he's just gonna let out Tyra Moran, and then he's gonna jump in.
Okay. You go over to the corner just before the energy seals this thing up. And you dive. For
They
a
said
minute.
die for a second. Sorry.
I know.
And you
And
die.
that is the Mighty Dungeon. Thanks for watching, everybody. Okay. You see a splash of black. There's sort of a moment where you keep your eyes closed and you get like that vision when you sneeze too hard and all of like you get all like the little squigglies in your vision that start floating all over the place. And then something changes. Before I change the scene here, I need everybody to make, let's see, gotta look this up. I believe it's gonna be
Death saving throws.
I need everybody to make a dexterity saving throws. Everybody. If you're if you're attached to a rope, you have disadvantage.
19.
17 for me.
6 for me.
Okay.
And
11.
Okay. Did anybody get more than a 13? Okay.
Yes.
You did.
Whose idea was the ropes?
Okay.
Marstone!
So, actually, this is iconic and ironic at the same time that Gabriel's the only one that succeeded this. Next question. Who has night vision? Who has dark vision?
Yeah, I think goblins do. I should.
Check on your character sheet real quick, under senses.
I also succeeded on the roll, by the way.
Yes. Dark vision up to 60 feet.
Okay. So just 6.
Oh, I have dark vision too.
All right.
60 feet.
Okay. So, we're going to try something a little interesting. I'm going to ask that you guys have a little faith and trust in me as DM. If you do not have dark vision, I need you to close your eyes right now. You can continue to listen, but in real life, close your eyes unless you have dark vision. In a moment between where you feel like you can't breathe and where there's a break in the friction of being pulled, you feel like you're in an open space as you fall about 10 feet before hitting something that gives off a sensation of both soft and cushiony, as if hitting a body, but also you fall through something, almost fabric-like, sticky. The warmth that hits you immediately makes sweat start to bead up on your face immediately upon being in this place of darkness. Now Zyxx and Darrow, both being attached by ropes. You open your eyes, and around you, you see a dark cave of some sort. You assume it's a cave because the ceiling above you, the walls around you, don't seem to hold any traditional shape. They also seem to be slightly moving. Let me switch this up a little bit. Hold on. Yes. Perfect. That's better. Those with dark vision look down and you see that you've landed in a pile of this coarse, sticky, grayish substance. Zyxx, you would be very familiar with this.
Oh no.
Somewhere, I need both of you with dark vision to make perception checks. Everyone else, you kind of hear one after another, this sort of like, as people fall side by side.
That's a 22, and I think I'm freaking out a little bit.
Okay.
12, and I'm definitely freaking out. I have no idea what this.
So, Darrow, you look off to your left, and you are laying in this stuff. In fact, I made you guys roll dex saves with disadvantage. If you did not meet a 13, you cannot move. You are stuck in this stuff. Gabriel, you fall, and you land in this stuff, immediately a fear kicks in, and your fight or flight takes place, and you just start ripping your limbs out of this gunk, and you are standing in complete darkness.
I'm gonna put my hand over my shield on my back. I have to open up my eyes to look at this spell.
Sure. At this,
I whisper, "Lend me a tiny bit of your flame." Or lend me a tiny flame from your essence as I cast light on my shield.
okay. Then, right before you cast light, everyone kind of is stuck, laying down in the dark. Everyone hears Gabriel freak out and whisper something, but before that happens, Darrow, you look off to the left with your dark vision, and you see something very large and worm-like sticking out of the earth of this cave. And it's whitish, grayish in color. Looks like there's sections of this thing that are covered in a whitish hair. Just small fibers and patches, and it's like slightly moving in place, like a giant arch in and out of the ground. Zyxx, with your perception check, across the cave from you, maybe about 40, 50 feet, you see that there is a body, gray in color, hanging from what look to be 3 almost chitinous spikes that appear to be hooked into the back of this body as it's hanging, facing away from you towards the wall. Naked, gray, bald, humanoid-esque. As this happens,
Do I know
Light.
anything about this thing?
make a...
So I'll tell you what I want to do. Like,
Okay.
I'm scared that the light will attract these creatures.
Okay.
So if I know that Gabriel is casting a spell to probably illuminate the situation,
Yeah?
and I see this thing, I think I want to be like, Gabriel, the light attracts them. Let's keep the light out.
Do you cast it anyway, Gabriel? Your fight or flight has probably kicked in, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's up to you, though.
I'm gonna roll. Below 10, I ignore them. So as I'm muttering, I hear him say that, and I kind of lift up, like, we can't see.
What's going on out there?
We're all here. Trust us. You're all safe.
Where are we?
You're not safe. 'Cause
Safe's a
there's-
relative term.
Are we safe
Yeah,
or not
everyone
safe?
keep your goddamn voice down.
Oh, sorry.
Where?
Gabriel, so
guys.
Gabriel,
We're
you
in a
look down and you see them all laying there.
I can't see anything. You said it's pitch black. in
Oh,
here,
that's right. You didn't cast light. So you just hear their voices from beneath you, echoing.
Wait, beneath me, echoing?
Yeah.
Move. Guys, I don't want to freak anybody out right now, but there's a giant, mushy, white worm thing just to the left of us. And I'm kind of freaking out a little bit
How
because
far?
I like 50 feet maybe.
Okay, and
I'm gonna put my hand out and like try to reach for somebody.
We can see him, so we should be able to grab his hand, right?
Or
Or is he too far from us?
Gabriel, why don't you? You know what? You probably all fell relatively close. So if Gabriel is just doing like kind of like slow windmills with his
Yeah.
arms,
I'm,
one
like,
of you would
reaching
be
down,
able to
like,
grab.
going back and
Oh,
forth.
I can't because I'm stuck.
So you would be able to reach out and touch him, but you are
Okay.
stuck to the ground
Yeah.
right now.
Where is everyone?
I'm stuck to
okay.
something.
Gabriel, turn 2 steps to the left. No, your other left. Okay, and then just forward, and then there's Darrow. Okay.
All right, I grab Darrow's hand and I try to pull him up.
Make an athletics check.
I'm trying not
We
to
also-
look at this map, but like, you know, just
I
minimize
also
it.
have
There
some
we
bad
go.
news. There's some kind of insectoid creature up there.
It's a
and-
spider!
Okay.
I'm
And
freaking out, man!
As you yell,
Wait, when he says spider, yeah. When he says spider,
not an arachnid. I'm just gonna point
I
that
hate
out.
spiders, guys!
yeah, when Darrow says spiders, there's like you're trying to pull and there's nothing pulling back. Like there's you can feel his hand and it's just limp. And he's just Gabriel's just frozen.
I can hear everything that's happening. We all can hear, right? We're all pretty close.
So you are only conscious right now because of the webbing right now. Because fall damage would have gotten you. So, but you're still a little woozy. I'd say your parts are kind of like, you're like blinking and everything's kind of fuzzy and you hear whispering and you're not sure if like this is what this is. Like what kind of reality you're in right now. But yeah, you can hear everything that's going on.
Okay, if I heard them saying that light attracts them, I'm gonna try to kneel down, put my hands over my eyes.
Did you make your dex save?
Yes, 17.
With disadvantage?
I
Oh wait,
didn't
you
have
weren't tied to a
advantage.
rope. You weren't tied to a rope.
I wasn't. That's why I died.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna put my hands over my eyes. I'm gonna look at the ground as close as I can, and I'm gonna cast light to emit light from my eyes, but as close to the ground as I can, as to create like a halo of light, but not a beam, not a bright beam.
Yeah, basically like two flashlights held at the ground, close to the ground.
Yes.
Okay. As there's like yelling and panic going on, everyone sees two small flashlights basically go off in the corner, and you realize it's the Warforged just kneeling down, looking inches from the ground, shining his face at the ground. And now there's slightly dim light in this corner, which basically only allows you to see that you are in 10 to 15 layers of an old to newish webbing over an undulating and slightly pulsating and moving ground made of some kind of gray flesh. And as the yelling happens, who has dark vision? It's Zyxx and Darrow.
Me and Zyxx, yeah.
You actually, I would say Darrow's freaking out. Zyxx is probably the one that looks over, and you see that this body that's hanging from these things would be a body hanging from these three things. But one of the pikes lifts from the ground and moves. Then another chitinous pike lifts and moves as this body in the air rotates. It's not coming from the ground. These chitinous spikes are coming from this creature's back. As it slowly turns, its body dangling limp in the air 3 feet above how tall these pikes are. And it starts inching closer to you guys, slowly. You hear just like a...
Six.
I can hear.
Zyxx.
Can I see that with the dim light in the area?
No, you just hear it.
Okay, so it's still pitch black.
I'm
Six.
lighting a torch, if that's cool. I'm gonna burn my
No,
Yeah.
don't light it near
Light
me.
a torch now. Where's the
Yeah.
flamekeeper?
As he's doing that, I'm gonna incorporate and shine the light around so everybody can see, and I'm also gonna lift my left hand, and then there's like a little round thing on the back of his wrist that's gonna extend the dagger made of alloy and metal, like what he's made of, what the Warforged made of, and I'm gonna kneel down next to Marstone, and I'm gonna start cutting the webbing to try to let him out.
Okay.
I'm gonna start with Marstone and then continue with everybody.
Okay. So, for this webbing, don't roll to hit, but just roll damage. As you start cutting at Marstone's webbing, this thing just starts marching towards you guys.
6 points of damage, slashing.
6 is enough to you get Marstone out of the webbing.
Okay, now me, robot. Please.
I'm gonna look down at Darrow.
Get me out of here, man.
I'm gonna tilt my head to the side. And I'm gonna
Actually,
like take a
move
few.
over here.
And I'm gonna look at the creature that's coming, and I'm gonna put my body towards the creature in front of Darrow. And I'm gonna start mumbling and moving my hands, and then the plating around my body is gonna start shining a little bit and vibrating, and then like a little poof of mist emanates from every plate on my body and stays like maybe 2 inches away, a blue hue. I'm gonna cast enhanced protection on myself, which is mage armor.
Okay.
And
The
I just
mist.
look at
The mist,
Oh,
not
Star.
unlike the wall of mist you guys were encountering yesterday, kind of solidifies and settles on the Warforged's body, and it temporarily heals. Just with the mist, some of the places where he was vulnerable and weak. As you step ahead, this creature moves in a very non-uniform way as it starts to claw towards the group, and then almost as if dodging an attack that didn't happen, it shifts off with one of its long chitinous legs to the right towards Zyxx. And you hear it mutter something. Did somebody light a torch?
I was gonna light a torch, and I will say to you, Mr. Kugo the Mighty, that I also speak Abyssal.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I
continue.
also speak Abyssal.
I'm gonna continue cutting people away if possible, if this creature's
Please.
not attacking.
please.
If I see that the Warforged is cutting people away, I'm going to draw my only remaining weapon, being a longsword, and I'm going to ready against whatever threat I can see.
So you're readying a melee attack if what happens?
Well, first off, can I see the threat?
A torch is being lit, I believe.
Okay.
My eyes
then-
are also lit, so yeah.
Yeah, I thought his eyes were good, so we're kind of able to see now. I'm going to ready a melee attack for if the creature gets within melee distance of a friendly. Can I do that, or is that a combination movement attack that's not?
No,
kosher?
that's a suitable trigger. If you say if it gets within melee distance of well, you would have to be in melee distance as well. So you
Okay,
can't
then yeah.
can't hold movement. You can hold an action.
Okay, yeah, I will hold an action, and if it gets within melee distance of me, we'll say.
Okay. So let's see. Hold on. Let me get a die. First roll. Ugh. You'd think I'd be ready. You think I would know that dice are involved in this game? Ooh,
Has
interesting.
anybody cut
Okay.
me down yet?
I'm trying.
As the torch gets lit, there we go. As soon as you light the torch and you start seeing your surroundings, webbing covering gray flesh, those same globules of floating dark light energy, giant worm-like creatures weaving in and out of the ground, on the walls, on the floors, covered in spots with this white grayish hair. As the torch gets lit, this thing seems to all of you to be attracted by or to the torch, and it sort of darts around. Almost in an effort to, it's seemingly interested in where the torch is right now on Zyxx. And as this thing towers over you, maybe, you know, it's a 6 foot tall gray body with these giant 3 chitinous, almost spidery legs coming out, towering over you by like 8 feet. The body kind of dangling like a limp corpse, but eyes open and bright yellow. It stabs into the ground to make its way around to you, Zyxx, and just leans in and says something that everybody understands because it speaks in common. As its mouth opens, you see, almost like webbing itself, its skin around its lips is sort of attached to itself in places, not unlike stitches, but it's its own flesh. And it says,
You are the beetle. You have arrived.
and it skitters away.
That's right. I've got the fire. Run.
Get me out of this web, you stupid robot.
Calm down, Darrow. I'm gonna cut Darrow out as I see this thing leaving.
Do the flames of my torch burn at these webs at all, or are they flammable?
Let's see.
Because
By the way, Gabriel is back up as far as he can.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, you hold the torch to the webbing, and it doesn't catch like normal webbing would, but it does burn away enough and blacken them to make them weak enough to pull out of. So this thing skitters away to another wall of this cave, and you just hear it moving faster. Its giant spiky legs kind of just as it goes over to the corner, and you hear it sort of stabbing into the wall and rumbling around in this mushy flesh of something.
I have many questions, Goblin.
I do as well. I think we need to have questions later and get out of here now.
That is agreeable.
I don't understand what he said. I'm not on Team Body Spider-Man, but I think he's coming back with friends.
I'm gonna continue to try and cut Darrow free or pull him free.
At this point, with sort of like the chain of actions gonna happen, the domino effect, you guys are all able to go around and use the torch, burn, and start using your weapons to kind of pull everybody free until everybody is free, and you have this torchlight emitting around you, and you can see everything within, like 20 to 30 feet around you, turning dim into the distance. You know you're in the corner of some sort of fleshy cave. And
can I look up and see if I can see the portal where we came through?
You look up and you see a ring of gray, glowing white bugs in a circle on the ceiling of this fleshy cavern. From time to time, you'll see like a worm kind of pushing through the flesh and then digging into another spot, creating like a large U, arch shape, as it moves and squirms, white hairs along the bodies. But you do see this large ring of these bugs marching in formation in a giant circle on the roof.
I'm gonna grab something from the ground, maybe a rock, I don't know, and I'm gonna try to throw it.
You don't see any rocks.
Okay.
You look down, and it's webbing on top of webbing, on top of webbing, and then some sort of gray, fleshy, hairy substance.
I am not feeling entirely well or operational at the moment, but I do believe there is still maybe a way out. up.
Here,
Ah,
this
we took
one
too long.
has gift.
As this gray body hanging from the three legs holds out a small, long, thin, wiggling worm in his hand towards you, Zyxx.
Eat it, bro.
I don't think it's wise to.
Eat it.
Do goblins eat worms?
Just eat it.
You.
Zyxx.
You are the beetle.
Beetles love
I mean, I'm a Ringo at best, but
No,
okay.
you are the beetle. You are
And-
very
and
famous.
How do you know of this beetle? And tell me more about him. I like to hear things about myself.
You are the beetle we have been watching, waiting. You will help.
What are my bugs? What are they doing?
You look and let's see. I wonder.
Like they kind of just exist on me, but like,
Yeah,
are
yeah,
they
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, we're home, or are they like, we need to get out of here?
Make a perception check.
Oh, it's an 8.
An 8? Okay. Your beetles don't seem alarmed at all. Your beetles seem your bugs seem calm.
I will graciously take the worm, do a little bow, and kind of just like pocket it.
Yes,
I'll say,
gifts for the beetle.
yes, for the beetle. Thank you. You may go now.
Next, we'll test the beetle.
Test the beetle.
We must know if you can help.
As he storms over just past you, Darrow, this hanging body from these 3 spider legs. And his spider legs hook into the wall and he starts climbing upwards.
I'm like, ugh.
Like almost to the ceiling.
What is happening?
Maybe he's not bad. I don't know.
He seems docile, but he speaks to the goblin as though he knows him.
I
Who's
wonder
the beetle?
if he knows my insects, my helpers. I don't
Why
know
does he
if
call you the
they're
beetle,
causing
though?
this. If we can use it as some kind of distraction or not get eaten card, I think we can do this. But I don't know. We need to get out of here.
Everyone sees him crawl along the ceiling, which is very unsettling because his legs are stabbing upwards, but his body is still like limp and hanging from it. As it goes across the ceiling above you guys and into the darkness.
I don't like this place.
I don't either, man. Zyxx, this is your friend. You go talk to him.
I mean, we're friends, but like, I just met that guy, so. Is there a direction to go? Is there, maybe I can go and inspect one of these like large, pulsating, cocoon things?
Sure,
in the
absolutely. Yeah, you take the light with you, the torch.
The thought pops into my brain that the halberd came in here too.
Make a perception check. Or investigation check, sorry.
Okay. If I need
Do
to,
I
I'll
notice
light
him
the torch
looking
as well,
around?
and Zyxx is walking away with it. 10.
Do I notice him
So
looking
close to
around
the
for
20.
something?
Marstone is albeit a very unsettling place. Marstone looks very focused and concentrated, and he's looking around, inspecting.
Okay, so So I said like I was going to stick close to him and I rescue him first. So I'm gonna be close to him and I'm gonna be looking over his shoulder with my eyes, and both eyes are lighting the way. So I'm gonna try to help him out.
Yeah. Roll with advantage.
Nice. Okay, that was the advantage. 10.
Okay. So, that's just a little bit of flair. 10 was good enough. You actually see it in some webbing in between these two objects.
I rush over to it.
Okay.
No caution.
Yep. You rush over to it. This kind of right in front of you. So you see these large, they come up maybe 7 feet into the air.
Okay.
Maybe about the size of a tree trunk. And they are just slowly and subtly moving.
So when I get within kind of a comfortable distance, like under 10 feet of it, I'm going to kind of slow down and take in exactly what's around it. And if I don't sense any immediate threats, like something's going to happen when I reach for it, I'm gonna reach for it.
Okay. So it's definitely stuck in some webbing. So how would you like to get it out?
So I've got my longsword in my right hand, and I'm going to reach up and try and get a hold of it with the left. And if I can't physically just pull it free, I'm going to use the sword to kind of like jungle chop it out.
Not an issue. You're able to cut it away with the sword.
Awesome.
Go ahead and make, what do you want to inspect about this? Like, are you trying to derive something from these worms?
The only thing that
No, sorry, I was talking to Zyxx. My bad.
Oh, I got you.
I should have said.
Oh, thank you. Is there something in it? I basically want to know. Like, are they killing other creatures and keeping them here? I kind of am curious about this because I understand what bugs do and beetles and spiders and stuff.
Yeah.
Is this what they're doing, or is this something larger than myself?
So
In a I don't know, existential sense rather than a physical sense.
Okay. Interesting. Why don't you do a nature check? That seems like the most straightforward.
9.
9. So this appears to be a large worm-like creature. You don't think it's like you don't think it's pulsating in a way that maybe it was like it has something in it. However, you do look around and there is a lot of webbing in a lot of different places, and it's very thick, and there's lots of different shapes and lots of subtle movement everywhere. It's a little hard to tell if there could be stuff in the web or if everything is moving all the time. It's hard to tell.
Okay, so I think this is both Jordan and Zyxx putting things together, but is this a giant maggot, and are we on a corpse?
He
says broadly to his friends.
Make one more history check for me. 19.
Natural 19.
Ooh, that's really good. So, a lot of things are seeming familiar to you. Maybe not literally, but you start thinking about where your powers came from, where your bugs came from, situations in your past, and how they might catch up with you. And as this happens, everyone starts to hear throughout the darkness. The first thing you hear is,
"Yes, go. Test the beetle."
And then you hear another noise that sounds less calm as you sort of hear this. As erupting from the darkness, one day I'll get really fast at this, comes another creature. And it does not look like it has your best interests in mind.
I just wanted to scream right now so that everyone's like, ah, but like I didn't kill him.
So let me make sure that. Wish I had like a mixer, like a physical hardware mixer to do this instead of alt-tabbing software all the time. All right. So. Right as you chop out your weapon, from the darkness, Marstone, you look up, and what appears to have once upon a time been perhaps a hobgoblin. Eye holes now caved in and empty. White hair erupting from all parts of its body. Worm-like tentacles coming out from its back and shoulder areas. Its feet, elongated toes and nails just dragging across the flesh on the ground as it floats over towards you, and it screams. The tongue flies out, not unlike a snake tongue, revealing fangs and just blackness in the mouth and the eyes. Everyone's gonna roll for initiative now. Welcome to the trial of the beetle.
Being so intently focused on my weapon, if this thing comes, like if I notice it,
you're like
as it
ready.
screams, I'm gonna fall over.
Fall over. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to be startled and step back and fall
Self-prone yourself.
down.
I like it. We get some RPers in here. All right. I would like.
I'm also frightened, by the way.
I'm scared out of my mind.
That's when you were saying spiders. Like, yeah.
I knew when I heard everybody's backstories that this was going to be an interesting campaign. All right. Initiatives from everybody.
5.
7.
Wait
5.
a second. Wait. 5, 7,
Everybody at once.
5.
5.
25.
25.
Oh my god.
That's going to help your average.
Yep.
10.
10. Oof, okay. Put your group initiative at 10.
And we haven't had rests or anything, right? Because like, nope.
Yeah.
We've already used like half our stuff.
It wouldn't be Eberron.
You know what? Oddly
He took
enough,
rest.
you guys still act first. So, actually, in this thing, I always blow these up initially so that the chat can see what it is, but it's a medium-sized creature.
Okay.
All right. So another thing about Frightened too, just a little homebrew twist, is Frightened will, if you want to do it traditionally, where like you can't get closer and you run away, like all that stuff, but also, gotta think, whatever, we'll name drop some more today. XP to level 3 had a really good point on Frightened, which I think we should end up using, is treat Frightened like it's fight or flight. So either freeze, run away, or try to kill it as fast as possible without any kind of reason, right? Like if you see a spider in real life, you either run away, freeze, or you just try to kill it and you break stuff. So try to treat that's how frightening will work here. So
Moonbeam. No, I'm just.
All right. Well, it'd be so cool if you're just like, fireball. Like, the spider.
All right. So who would like to go?
Well, to clarify, I'm frightened of the other thing.
You're scared of what I said, right?
Yes.
Also, I would say this thing that's approaching, although you can kind of see it dimly in the cave, you see like another somewhat floating body with tentacles coming out of it and lots of white hair.
Ugh. Gotcha.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and lift my hand. My fingers are gonna detach again and start rotating around, and the energy in my palm is gonna turn red, and it's gonna start bursting into flames, and I'm gonna throw an energy blast into this creature.
Okay,
It's a 21 to hit.
that hits.
First time ever I hit with this. That's 17 points of damage. Fire damage.
Jeez. My goodness. Describe.
Holy.
So, let's see. How much dim light does a torch give off?
20 normal and then 20 more dim light. So
Okay.
40 dim light
Okay.
and 20.
All right. So this is dim, but I won't give you disadvantage. So how much? So 17 fire damage. Describe what this looks like as this thing starts to descend faster on Marstone, who goes backwards into a prone.
I notice how he's like on the back foot, and I'm gonna extend my hand, and this little ball of energy is gonna start forming in my palm and shoots towards this creature. It's illuminating everything as he goes through, as it goes through, because it's a little ball of flame that impacts right in the chest of this creature and dissipates with sparkly fire.
All right. So as it sort of charges up and fires off, it does in fact illuminate a lot of this cave. As it goes it gets sent right through the shoulder of one of the shoulders of this creature as it, and then you see literally one of the tentacles goes flying off in a flame and hits the ground and burns some of the webbing that's on the ground as the tentacle writhes up and stops moving, curled up in a black char. In that moment, though, as the light and the fire flies through the room and lights up, you see that there are worms and webbing everywhere, on the roof, on the sides of the cave, and in the quick glimpse of everything else around you. Everyone make a perception check.
It's a great visual. Like, he does a huge fire, and then we can see how
Briefly, everything gets lit up for just a moment.
7.
17 for Zyxx.
Nice. Who got more than 15?
Zyxx did.
Zyxx, as this happens, you look up, and right above you, you see, in a bunch of webbing on the roof, another, something goblin-like? But then you blink as the fire goes away, and as you blink and the memory of it sort of burns into your retinas, like looking at the sun for too long, you like blink and the image is still there of what you saw, and you swear that the goblin in the webbing had 2 mouths on its head. So, that is the Warforged's turn. Anybody else?
I'm gonna move behind Darrow actually,
Okay.
and I'm gonna say, now I am far away. You can use your abilities. Thank you.
Who else is
I'm
gonna go?
gonna try to shake my fear. What's it normally?
This is a self-imposed fear, so go ahead and just roll d20 and take your own roll.
Higher than 10, I shake it.
All right. Terrified, just frozen, backed up against the wall. I love it.
I'm still like moving like slowly to keep on backing up.
I'm gonna like reverse crawl since I landed on my ass.
Yeah.
Kind of as far as I can. I'm gonna reach for one of the hand axes at my belt, but realizing that I had thrown them both up in the forest.
One of them hit the tree, yeah.
Yep. I'm gonna say nonsense, and I'm going to reach for my halberd that I have recently freed. I'm gonna try and use the rest of my movement to stand up. So
Yeah.
I'm probably like 10 feet back.
Yep. So you want to move a further 10 feet?
No. So just
You're in between
I'm-
these two worms?
Yep. I'm
Okay.
kind of putting it where I used half my movement to stand, and the rest of it was like backwards crawling.
Roger.
So I imagine that's only about 10.
So you get up and you get ready, you put both of your hands and you look down at this weapon that has so much history for you. And then you brace yourself and look up at this creature who now has one less tentacle but is still shifting towards you.
Yep. I'm going to use it in a versatile stance. I'm going to take a nice wide stance with the point of it directed at this creature, and I'm going to hold an action. If it charges,
Yes.
I'm going to attack.
Okay. Awesome. Who else hasn't gone?
Zyxx is gonna move into line of sight of this creature.
So there is a gap underneath this worm that you're under. You could pass underneath it if you
Oh,
wanted
great,
to.
yeah. So I'll get underneath the worm,
Yep.
and then I will reach into my. I carry little stones with me so that I can throw them,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll cast. Is it magic stone? Yeah, on my stone as a bonus action, and say, "Fly true, little guy," and then I'll throw it at this creature.
Okay. Please do.
Uh, 21 to hit.
Yes, it hits.
I think this is the first time I've actually hit, so let's. Okay. I do 1d6 damage plus 3, so that's 4, but he's going to be my favored foe, so he takes an additional d4.
Ooh.
And my bugs are part of the magic, and they sit on the stone, and as they hit, they like bite into this guy, doing an
Ooh.
extra d6 damage as well. So
You throw your bugs on the stone?
that would be an extra 9 damage, so
Oh
13
my-
total.
All right.
And then I'll kind of move back and try to hide behind this bug, but I won't make a roll for stealth or anything. I'll just try to.
Alrighty. You throw the stone, and it goes straight through the chest of this creature. And the stone passes through and hits the webbing on the ground behind him. As you see all of your bugs chomping at the wound that it opened, and then crawling down the thing's legs, and then coming back to you. As this happens, is that everybody's turn on this side?
I haven't gone
All right,
yet.
Darrow, your turn.
Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is cast Bark Skin on myself.
Very nice.
And that's gonna give me 16 AC. And then as a bonus action, I'm gonna go ahead and shift into my bestial form. And then that's it for me.
Alrighty. What does your bark skin look like? Like, as the Warforged is behind you, hiding, what does it look like to you?
So I kind of, I'm new as a druid, right? So I start like looking down at my arms and stuff, and almost like all of my skin, like it looks like bark, obviously, but it's got my gray skin as the shifter, and it just goes all the way down my arms, all the way up my face, over the rest of my body, and just hardens. All the skin hardens.
Awesome. Okay. The start of the other side's round. The hanging spider-like creature. You hear him echoing through the chamber, kind of go. And then on the ceiling again, you hear a. And you see the dim light being cast by the torch is still kind of creating all of these crazy geometrical like shadows in every direction, from the worms, from the people, and then you see this creature just climbing along the roof, and it stops. On the roof, maybe about 20 feet up, near where Zyxx and Marstone is. It's gonna use this action. You just hear this this creature. It hangs by two of its three spider legs, and the third spider leg starts tearing at something on the ceiling. This creature over here, having just been thrown the stone at and the bugs, it will divert its attention in that direction and will come this direction. And this creature is going to attack the beetle.
Oh, jeez.
So, it was going to make 2 tentacle attacks, but now it can no longer take 2 tentacle attacks, so it will only take 1. That is going to be a 13.
That will miss.
Okay, so all right, one of the tentacles on the shoulder that was not harmed whips out as this thing, as it whips out, and you dodge underneath it, being small and dexterous. And then it is going to claw at you. That is going to be a dirty 20.
Ooh, yeah, that'll hit.
So it claws at you 1 time. One is 3. So for 7 slashing damage. It's gonna take 1 more and miss again with another slash. So the tentacle whips out and misses, and then it just furiously slashes at you 2 times. Everyone sees commotion going on underneath one of the worms. In fact, one of the missed claw attacks strikes the worm. And black ichor starts leaking from the wound in the worm, not unlike the swirling pool of energy above you looked like. And it starts dripping down onto the ground. And as it hits pieces of webbing and the floor, you hear a tss. It is now the hero's round. You guys can go.
Real quick, I'm gonna make a con save because this favored foe is actually a concentration thing, and I got hit. So
Yeah.
I am still concentrating.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anybody can go. Anybody that's ready.
Yeah, I will disengage as a bonus action.
You got
and
it.
Go back 30 feet.
Where would you like to go to?
I just want to get away from it, like 30 feet away.
Okay.
And then I will chuck another rock at it.
All right. So with torch in one hand.
It's not my best throw. That's 10.
A 10 just soars off. In fact, it kind of skitters off of the top of the worm. Not piercing it, but bounces off and hits into the darkness behind him.
And then I'm gonna, I guess as like a free action, I just want to shout out to my friends, like,
Yep.
The bile in the worm. I think it's toxic. Maybe to him, maybe to all of us, but you could use that.
Anybody else?
I'm still frightened, and I back up, continue to back up slowly.
So you said this worm just to the south of me is creating like an archway?
They both are. They're giant arches the size of
Okay.
tree trunks.
I'm gonna take a second to glance up and see what this corpse spider thing is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Can I tell?
Make a perception check.
Okay. 22.
It looks like it's using one of its spider legs to claw away at a huge pile of webbing that's attached to the ceiling.
I'm just gonna ignore it then, and I'm gonna use my movement to kind of scooch around the side of this tree trunk-sized worm and kind of take cover and hold my halberd nice and close to my chest. And I'm going to continue to hold that action. If the creature comes through the archway, I'm going to attack it.
So are you moving south to the other side of the arch here?
Nope, I'm just kind of wrapping around, basically like 5 feet. So if the grid was there, it'd be just like a diagonal move.
So do you
So
want
I
to be
wanna be
within
in the-
5 feet of him?
No, not necessarily. It
'Cause
looks like
here-
he's on the other side of the arch.
Yep, exactly.
Yep. So just scooch me to the other side of the branch that's like in the ground right now. Right now I'm like just north of it. Put me to the east of it.
You want to be here?
Opposite direction.
You want to be
Right
just
under the-
underneath him?
Yep,
do you
but,
wanna
like,
be here?
Right there.
All
Back
right.
back up against the worm, and I'm holding an action. If he comes through the archway, I'm gonna thrust into him.
Alrighty. Sounds good.
I'm gonna extend my right hand this time, and from the back of the right hand, 2 little arches are gonna pop up and then extend to the sides, and it's gonna form a hand crossbow that's made of the same material the Warforged is. And then the loader is inside his arm, and I'm gonna shoot a bolt towards the creature.
Alrighty.
This is gonna be with disadvantage.
Wait, which creature?
The one under the arch.
Okay, straight through the arch. Yeah, you got it.
It's gonna be with disadvantage. It's gonna be a 9.
Alrighty.
And that's my turn.
Roll another d20 for me.
Another one, a
Yeah,
third one.
Just roll a d20 for me.
Just a
help me out here.
D20. And tap. Roll. It's a 14.
A 14. Okay. The crossbow bolt goes over the giant worm and doesn't seem to find purchase until the other end of the cave. Who else would like to go?
Okay. I'm gonna move up next to Marstone if I can. And actually, I'm gonna go ahead and move. Can I move on the other side next, within 5 feet of the goblin thing?
Where would you like to move? Sorry? You want
Next to
to
that.
go completely on the other side of the worm?
Yeah.
All right, let me see what we got here. So
Okay.
you were here. You would have to go 25. Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah. You can make it to here.
All right. And
So
then
you see
I am-
Marstone like waiting with his weapon to catch this thing, and you flank around him and go around the worm.
All right, and then I am going to attack with my sickle. And that is an 8 to hit.
The sickle comes down on this thing, and you carve out a huge chunk of this white, grayish hair, like grass, off of this thing's body. And you realize that this thing is actually quite skinny and scrawny and gaunt. No muscle or fat on this thing's body. It's just covered in mounds of hair, just not unlike you, actually.
All right. So as a bonus action, I'm going to use my long tooth shifting strike. And 10 to hit.
Same thing. It
Dang.
writhes backwards. And you've now got its attention.
All right. That's it for me.
Anybody else? Is that everybody? All right. The creature turns from looking through the archway and then hearing 2 swipes at him as he dodges the second one and turns and sees the shifted Darrow. It reaches out to you. First, with a claw, which is going to be a dirty 20.
I have 21 armor.
Ooh, jeez.
So I get bark skin and armor from bark skin, which is 16, and then 5 from wild shape. Or, I mean, shifting.
Jeez. I didn't even know you got bonus AC from shifting. Holy cow. Okay. All right. So, yeah, it misses its swipe. Now its tentacle's gonna reach out for you. 16 plus 6 is 22.
Yeah.
So that one does get you. So the swipe, you dodge out of the way. And then the tentacle on the one non-wounded shoulder reaches out and it wraps around your neck. First thing that's gonna happen, take 7 bludgeoning damage. You are now grappled by the tentacle. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. 17.
17. All right. As it wraps the tentacle around your neck, it tries to lash its tongue out at you, at your face. And you quickly bend your neck sideways to dodge out of the way of its tongue. And you have no idea what this thing is trying to do to you right now. And it's terrifying. And you are grappled. Up on the roof, you hear,
Beetle. Yes, certainly him. More than ready. Can handle.
and he takes one of his spider limbs and cuts through the webbing as another small creature falls from the roof. And on the way down, the larger creature from before gives it a little bit of a stab as it writhes in pain from being awoken. You hear kind of like a as it turns and then falls down from the ceiling on top of Marstone. Marstone, what's your AC?
My AC is 16.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty darn good.
But is it good enough?
We're about to find out. As a gray, what once might have been a goblin-like creature with 2 mouths on its face, 4 arms, almost looking like 2 goblins fused together in a monstrous, catastrophic experiment. It leaps down on top of you and goes to claw you and misses as you dodge out of the way, and it slams into the ground, taking bludgeoning damage first, and then slowly gets up with its 4 arms, looking very similar to Zyxx, but gray in color. 2 sets of mouths on the front of the face and 4 arms as it claws up in front of you, making very guttural noises. And then you hear as he skitters away on the roof.
I'm gonna shout after him. Don't you dare bring more of these!
Everyone hears that. Okay. It is now. Actually, you know what? No one sees Darrow being grappled by this thing's tentacle. But you just know that it is no longer looking through the archway.
I go just around the corner. I go, and I'm like still strangled, but I'm like, did you guys hear that? He said I'm worthy.
What would everybody like to do? Would you like to try to break the grapple first?
Yes. I don't know how though.
All right.
I've not done that.
So, to break a grapple, you can either roll an athletics check, or actually, in this particular scenario, I'm gonna need you to just roll an athletics check.
Okay.
Try to pry it away from your neck.
18.
Let's see what it gets. You do. You manage to pull the tentacle away from your neck, and you fall back to the ground, looking up at this thing. as it pulls
And I
its
say-
tongue back into its head.
You're a freak! Don't ever try to lick me again.
Everyone hears that echoing through the cave.
They have no idea what's going on.
All right, what are we doing?
I'm gonna try and run the little double goblin through.
Mm-hmm.
By just basically charging at him with the halberd and trying to pin him to the worm through
All right.
through the abdomen.
All right, do it up.
Alrighty, here goes. That's a 16 to hit.
That hits.
Yeah.
How much damage are we talking?
We're talking about 8 points of damage.
8 damage.
8 premium points of damage.
So, what would you like to do? Stab him into the worm?
Yep. So he falls down in front of me. I kind of dodge out of the way, and right after I shout at the spider corpse creature, I'm gonna charge straight forward with the halberd pointed out, almost like a spear, and I'm going to run it through his abdomen and try and pin him to the worm.
You do. You yell, "Run!" You stab it through as it stabs into the worm itself. And as you stab into the worm, the wound erupts with this black ichor. And you see it eating away at the back of this goblin's head. Just melting it, just... And you pull away?
I physically, like, react. I grimace a little bit, like, oh!
Yep.
And yeah, I'm gonna yank the halberd straight out of his abdomen.
Okay.
And ready myself again.
It seems as though its body has been fused to whatever acidic reaction that's happening with this ichor, and it stays in place on the worm, just continuing to eat away at it. Done.
I look back to Zyxx and I say, "You were right about this disgusting place. It is definitely toxic."
Who else hasn't gone?
I finally am able to shake my fear. I rolled an 18. And kind of just shaking past. I'm going to move up kind of towards where Zyxx is. And would I be able to see this thing through it?
Yep, you can see it through the archway now. It looks like
What's
it's
the-
zzz north. Like, it's not
What's-
looking at you.
What's the lighting situation in here?
It's
can we
pretty
see it
dim.
well?
There's Zyxx has a torch, and that's it.
Okay. Well, then I will point towards it. I kind of close my eyes and mutter and clasp my hands, and I'm going to cast light on its head.
All right.
Oh no, never mind. I'm sorry. Light's a touch.
You could still do it if you want to.
Do
Right up there and touch him.
You can
Do
go walk
it.
up to it.
You know what? I'm gonna walk up.
Do it!
I'm gonna slap him on his butt and cast light.
No, don't do it! He likes that!
It's a dexterity saving throw.
You got it. Let me see.
He's got to be a 12.
You run up, gulping and gathering your pride and your strength. You call forth the light in your hand and you reach out to touch this thing. And the tentacle from the shoulder reaches down and grips around your hand.
Exactly where I want it to be.
It's hairy and fleshy at the same time. And it uses the tentacle to kind of like turn itself around to face you. It has no effect. It dodged it.
Gotcha. Well then, as a bonus action, because I saw how badly beat up our Warforged is, I'm going to look over to him, and as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Healing Word.
So range on that?
60 feet.
All right, yeah, you're good.
All right. Okay. It's going to heal you for 8.
Very nice.
Who hasn't gone?
It's gonna
I'm throwing a stone.
Yeah.
So Gabriel is grappled by this, but is Darrow?
Neither of them appear to be grappled. It used its tentacle to knock his hand away, but that's it.
Oh, okay.
And
Then,
grapples or breaking free was an action, right?
Correct.
Okay, okay.
Can I, when I throw this magic stone, can I try to actually hit the worm in such a way that it would cut it open and spray him with black goo?
Higher AC, but yes.
We're gonna do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a 7.
So it hits the worm on this side, and it doesn't quite penetrate either. It wasn't a very hard throw, but it does kind of settle in the worm, and it just stays there, kind of faintly glowing.
Like, then just like swallowed up.
Right. It's like when you sit on a bunch of pebbles and they stick to you.
Because I just go and sit on little pebbles. But,
Yeah.
then I'll go. Can I do hide as a bonus action? I can move up or down to
Sure.
get into a better place to hide.
Where would you
but I
like to
wanna,
hide?
Probably like in the webbing, I think. I don't want to get grappled though or stuck. I just want to hide.
Okay. You tell me.
Okay, yeah, I'll go up 2 or 3 clicks and then hide. Yeah.
Upwards?
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
fine.
Okay. If you're actually hiding, roll stealth. Anybody else need to go? Ooh.
Yep. I'm gonna start getting closer as I notice that my range is a little far with my crossbow. And I'm gonna lift my right hand and shoot again.
Okay.
That's a 21 to hit.
Yeah, it's a good roll.
4 damage.
Okay. As you aim underneath the arch and see it being pinned by 2 of your teammates, you aim with your crossbow and you let one fly as it hits into the side of this thing. It is now starting to make more and more noises, and the tentacle is flailing. This thing looks very badly wounded at this point. The shoulder on the one side is cauterized and blackened where its other tentacle used to be. Anybody else?
I think we've all gone.
Okay. It's going to turn and claw at Gabriel. It's a good thing that was the claw. So 11 slashing damage as he turns after turning with the tentacle and claws you. And he doesn't scrape, he stabs it straight into between where your armor is and finds purchase. For 11 piercing. It's going to use its tentacle this time. 8 plus 14?
14 misses.
14. Okay, it tries to wrap its tentacle around you, and you manage to shake it off and push the arm back as the claws pull from your body. It's now your turn. Everybody else's turn again.
There's a lot of blood that comes out, by the way. A lot of blood.
Seeing that the goblinoid double creature thing is fused to this worm, I'm going to try and charge under the arch.
Yeah.
To knock this hobgoblin mutation out of the way using a superiority die. I'm going to charge in and I'm going to lower the shoulder with the ram's head on it, and I'm going to use a pushing attack. So when you hit with a weapon attack, I can expend a superiority die to add the total damage. Add that total to the damage roll, and if the target is large or smaller, it has to make a strength saving throw.
Okay.
On a failure, I push it up to 15 feet away from you.
So that's on a hit?
Yep.
Okay.
So
you
I
gotta
have
roll
to,
the
I
hit.
have to go in. Yep. I got to go in to make that halberd attack, and then I'm going to lean in with that shoulder if
You got it.
it's successful.
You got it.
Whoa. 19.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I come through and I do a really fast downward slash with the halberd. For 8 points of damage once again, and I'm going to use that superiority die, which is 48 per rest. Boy, that's not very clear. I'm going to use my pushing attack basically and just push it 15 feet away.
So
back into
you
whatever's behind
charge
it.
underneath. You see Gabriel gripping a wound. Darrow ready to strike. And you charge underneath the archway of this gigantic worm. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw as you go underneath. There is still black ichor coming from the wound from a prior attack.
Okay. And then the superiority die would add another 8 points of damage on this. The dex save, however, is only going to be a 4.
So, as you go underneath, you get the weapon ready. You lower the shoulder. You're going to take 4 acid damage, but you charge through and yelling, now having your weapon back. You slice up and across this creature and then lower the ram's head shoulder pauldron and ram it into the top of the chest of this creature. And it moves a lot easier than you thought because it is now detached from its lower body. As you ram the top half of the torso to the other side of the cave, hitting the webbing on the floor in a squishy mess, and the legs drop to the ground, lifeless. It's now the end of combat. In the corner of the cave, you sort of hear this. What do you do?
Like right as that's happening, Gabriel kind of drops to a knee, like visibly, like his wound is really bad. He's just gonna put his hand over top of his wound. I'm gonna use my my magic initiate for cleric. I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on it. Oh, that's perfect.
So, as you do this, Gabriel,
oh great,
you look off to the right, and the acid that was spewing from this worm, the wound fills with a brilliant white shard, not unlike how it was solidifying the portal above you. And it stops dripping. As you all hear this. Actually, it would be in the dark. Wouldn't go around. Zyxx?
I'm gonna stand up and cast light on my shield.
Okay. Is Zyxx AFK?
I'm here.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
sorry.
Sorry, Gabriel, go ahead.
That's all I said. It's just like, now we can see.
You are definitely the beetle. The stories are true.
As I knew they would be.
Yes. You must help us. Return.
I will.
Poke more holes.
On the worms?
No.
It looks up and points one finger up at the ring of bugs circling on the roof.
Yes, we will help you poke more holes, but we can only do this from the other side. Can you help us get back through that one?
Yes. For the beetle, we'll help this one.
For the beetle! Guys, we gotta go.
I'm gonna help Gabriel to his feet if he's not already standing. Same with Darrow. I'm just gonna kind of make sure that the guys near me are up and okay.
Yeah, I'd take his hand, mine all bloody.
I take his other hand, and then we walk through. We walk through the back to the archway.
I take his third hand.
Whoa, this is a PG show, dude.
That's what the guy says. The spider says.
So, this creature nods and then crawls up the wall. And you see that there's just an ever so faint ring, halo, underneath the ring of bugs kind of crawling around in a marching order in a circle on the roof over here, up just above where you fell. And this large creature climbs to the roof, takes one of his fingernails, and starts climbing on the ceiling, tracing the fingernail just around where the bugs are. And then he takes his hand and starts swirling it around in a motion, in a circle, near his chest. And you see what was once a halo of white caused from the bugs now starts getting pulled downwards. Almost like a funnel. He takes the center point of the circle and pulls it down, creating basically the inside-out version of what you saw on the surface, pulling this black funnel down, all the way down to about 4 or 5 feet above the ground, over here near the webbing. And then he stands near the webbing with one of his spider legs in the wall, and he holds out one of his hands towards any of you.
I take it.
He grabs your hand, and yeah, with incredible strength, he lifts you up by your arm and brings you to the bottom of this black vortex inside out. And you get sucked into it. And he holds another arm out.
I suppose we all must leave this way.
Like,
I reach out.
it's within reach of you to just go touch it yourself. He's still just holding his arm out.
You still like doing that.
I grab it anyways.
Okay.
I just I assume that that's the way.
Yeah, so once again, with a crazy amount of strength, he just takes his arm, grabs your arm, lifts you up off the ground, and you're...
I'm going to just move past him and kind of keep an eye on him and go up my own way.
He... Hold on a sec. Wait. He does
can I
not
do
hold his...
something?
He does not hold his arm out to you, Gabriel.
Perfect.
But you do go over there and try to touch it yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You are sucked upwards into it, like being in a slingshot. So we have Marstone's gone. Gone. Gone.
I am gonna, as this was all happening, I kept shooting at this creature and walking closer and closer. Not this one, the creature we just killed. But I just kept shooting and getting closer and
Okay.
closer and closer
Okay.
until I got into pretty much 5 feet, and I noticed it's not moving anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna tilt my head to the side and I'm gonna poke it. And then I'm gonna turn around and start heading towards the group.
Yeah, I was like, I'd probably go over and be like, "It's time to go. Stop stretching so tall like that. Just, go. Take his hand. Get out of here. I'll be right behind you."
Okay. And I'm gonna extend my hand, very childish, to this creature.
Okay. It picks you up, and you get sent up through this black vortex. And as you're now the last one here, Zyxx.
Yeah, I turn to him before I take his hand.
He comes off the wall a little bit too.
And I'll say, "Is the crawling queen ready to come into the prime material plane? Is she ready for Khorvaire?"
She is ready to go home. The other masters have already left.
And hopefully I can send her back to the hell she belongs, and then I jump through the portal.
I'm gonna see if he can process that fast. No, he's just turns as you spit the quip out and then run. You see his head just kind of like turn to trace you, but it doesn't look like he is registered what you've said as you jump up into the portal and get sucked up. Now, I need one person, one volunteer
Not it.
I'll do it.
to roll for me a D100.
D100.
The first thing you guys all feel is it's cold. 75. Wow. So. I'm doing some math here. Okay. So. The first thing that you guys all notice and feel is that it is cold. It's very cold. It is nighttime. Swap the music in. And you all open your eyes on the outer edge of the black portal, which has regained its form. No longer solidified in light, it's moving in a very fluid, wisping vortex downwards. And you all are here. What would you guys like to do? You guys all kind of woozily
everyone
kind of push
away?
yourself up, and it's the first thing you notice is it's not hot boiling and sweat bubbling up on your skin anymore. It's cold. It's freezing. It's like you just went from an oven to the Arctic. Even though you know this forest, it's familiar, it just feels colder, more cold than normal.
If everyone's out though, I look around at everyone is here.
Yeah.
I am going to continually casting Sacred Flame on this until I pass out.
Wow. I'm just gonna wrap up in my cloak and breathe deep the fresh night air.
So you start breathing hard, panting, and you hold up your hands and you just you're just casting a whole bunch of these things. And you're just throwing them into the vortex?
Yeah, I'm like charging up,
Yep.
firing, charging up, firing, charging up, firing.
Everybody just
charging up,
watching him do
firing.
that? It's gonna take a couple seconds
I-
to kind of prep these things, but
Have no idea how I could help, but I go up and I kind of place a hand on his shoulder.
I move forward towards it, like kind of brushing off his hand.
I go, "You're doing great, buddy." And I look at Zyxx and I'm like, I think he's gonna pass
how
out."
long does your shifted form last?
Oh, my shifted form. Where's it at?
1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Oh, it's
or
been
until I
way
die.
longer than that. Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Oh, and I don't have.
All right, if no one else is doing anything, Gabriel,
Yeah,
you
I'm just
walk
doing it.
forward and you are
I'm
just
just-
throwing them in over and over and over again. The vortex of black energy almost seemingly coming to life and becoming angry with the intrusion of this radiant energy until it slowly stops moving.
I stand up a little straighter.
It starts to turn a pale gray. All of the bugs,
Like breathing heavy.
all of the bugs around stop glowing. Stop moving. And then one by one start skittering off back into the forest, leaving this hard gray cone in the ground. Almost as if a perfectly carved out piece of rock, just this gray, hard substance.
I fall down to like my knees and fall and catch myself with my hands, and I'm like like visibly sweating and breathing in heavy and just look extremely exhausted.
I take a seat next to him and I produce some rations and my water skin. And I take a quick bite and I offer him what I have. You've done it.
For how long?
That is not for us to answer, but I think one among us may know.
I just need a minute. And I'm gonna kind of sit up and sit down and just take a rest.
Everybody make a perception check.
Twelve.
20.
Natty one. I'm just staring at the cone.
Yeah.
9.
All right, yeah, you and Gabriel are both kind of exhausted looking at this thing. Darrow, you look off into the clearing that once overlooked and led down to the fort. Something catches your eye. You're not really sure if it's your memory not serving you correctly or not. But from your vantage point here, it seems like the wall of mist surrounding the Mournland is a little bit closer than it was last time you were here. Zyxx, the 20.
21 for me.
Warforged with the
Always
21.
have that.
So, Zyxx and the Warforged, you both look up and you hear something from the woods behind you, kind of up over the ruins there. You hear a... What? Hey, Trill! Come take a look at this! And you guys stand up and look. You two, Warforged and Zyxx, you look up and you see two uniformed guards from the fort. One of them standing there and the other one kind of like walking up, saying like, what's the matter? Oh my heavens.
We've got wounded men here. What are you doing? Go get help.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
I love it.
It's a 7. Very low charisma.
One of them turns to the other and just says, You go, I'll stay here. Okay. And he runs towards the opening and starts heading down, heading away from the hill. And the other guard kind of very hesitantly, as if he's looking at a ghost, just weird, washed over look on his face, comes a little bit closer and says, We thought you were dead.
So did we. More like bile comes out of my mouth.
Like a baby throwing up. No expression.
Yeah,
just
it's like a baby, but it's like black and evil, so it's cool.
Yeah. Hey, I have this. Hold on. Thought I did. Oh, I do. Yeah. He stares at you guys.
He's just staring at us. I look over and I go, "Hey, you got a problem?"
No.
That's right.
Do you need... I've not got much. I've got some bandages.
We'll give him to the passed out guy.
Who's the most hurt?
I guess Gabriel now, right?
Oh, I'm good.
Yeah,
I
he's
look
good.
fine. I look like I don't look wounded. I just look exhausted from just casting over and over and over again.
What? The guard slowly gets closer to the solidified cone. And he like kneels down next to it.
I put my hand up. Just back away from it.
What was it? What did you do to it?
Hopefully I closed it.
This will be maybe the only good thing that's happened in the last few days.
Few days. What do you mean, few days?
It's been 3 days since you've been gone.
3 days. It's felt like not but an hour, maybe.
But we still get 3 days of wages. That's how it works. Those are the rules.
It's not been good at the camp. But
Where is Chinara?
she's just received in the next band of soldiers coming from Rote. We had to swap out after the last few days of events.
We should return to the keep.
I agree. Should be nice to see you.
And it clicks. I'm looking around at all the players here, and I look over at the Warforged, and I see that he's physically ripped to shreds. And I'm gonna walk over to kind of help him. I'm gonna say let's begin our journey then.
Before we go, Gabriel, what type of damage was the spell that you cast on the crow?
Radiant.
Okay.
As we're walking next to the cone, it's solid as in rock solid, or could I pull out my dagger and chip away a little bit of this substance?
Sure. It looks solid. It appears to look. It looks like stone.
All right, I'm gonna put my dagger that's extending from my own arm. I'm gonna put my arm down. I'm gonna start
Yes.
bumping my elbow.
To everyone
does
else,
that?
he looks crazy because he's like beat up. There's wires everywhere. He's leaking. He's damaged, and he pulls out a dagger and starts scraping at the cone.
If like the second he goes down to start scraping at it, I'm gonna say I'm gonna go step, and then I'm gonna cast thaumaturgy on myself, and I'm going to boom my voice and just say step away.
The guard immediately like backs up like 10 feet.
I'm gonna assume he's talking to the guard since the guard stepped away, and I'm gonna keep going like he never talked to me because I'm completely unaware.
Warforged, step away.
Now that I hear that, I'm gonna stop as I'm walking towards the thing. I'm gonna look at him. It may contain information.
I dropped thaumaturgy so that way it's not. I'm just like yelling while I'm just talking.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have a point, but
He's right. If we can understand what it's made out of, we can build a weapon against it.
We know the weapon.
It's radiant energy.
There must be something more effective than that. You're exhausted. We can't visit who knows how many of these holes and just spend hours casting into it.
And how do you just manufacture radiant energy? We need to study it.
I can do that, man. I got Moonbeam. The robot knows all about that, right, buddy? And I like slap
As they're
him.
talking, I'm gonna slowly keep going.
We just got out of there. And you're wanting to do things to pull yourself back in?
Planekeeper, your work is done. You've sealed the gate, the pool. For the time being, we are safe. We need to gather ourselves, return to the keep. And I believe the Warforged has a point.
Is it
Anything we
cracking?
can learn is good information.
I do believe it is no longer working. Look, I'm gonna tap it with my toe.
Looks like it's cracking.
This thing is evil. Whatever's in there is unholy. I can't in my right mind allow anyone to mess with it.
the guard's eyes are just darting back and forth, just so wide open, taking in all the information.
This is extremely dangerous, as you say. Flame Keeper. We should be able to defeat this next time. If we don't learn more, we will not.
Yeah, and the spider dude wasn't bad. I mean, he was creepy as all get out. Weird, made me sick at my stomach
He
and want to
summoned
puke.
things to
Like-
try to kill us.
He did try to kill us.
How is
He
that?
said
not
I was. He
bad?
said I was worthy. By the way, I know you guys heard some weird stuff on the other side of the wall. but he did say that I was worthy.
Of what exactly?
I don't know.
An evil
He said
person can still say whatever they want to say.
He said it.
Perhaps you are worthy of becoming a bug like him. Your shell, empty, soulless.
At least I didn't pass out on the ground when I saw him.
I look around like. Neither did I.
I'm like,
I suggest we get going. I am in need of some repairs. I am not in an optimal state, and I would very much like to study this substance. Maybe bring some of this to the people that know more than us on the keep.
Hey, soldier boy guy. Do you guys have some more of that lamb that we had about, like, I guess 3 days ago? But that sounds really good right now.
Yeah, I don't know if it's lamb this time around, but we've got provisions in when the new troops came in, so yeah, we've got food.
Okay. You go start. You can heat it up for us. We'll be right behind you.
Make another persuasion check. Because
Oh
his
my
job
God.
technically is to
Charisma,
watch
Kogo,
this
why are you
area.
I like that we're bullying the guard.
Oh yeah, that's a 14.
He goes, oh, all right. Just, Chanar's gonna want to speak to you, so come back as soon as you can.
We'll want to speak to her, but there's lamb to be had and salted meats before
He
then.
starts walking away while you're talking. He just dismisses you and keeps going. He just walks away.
And you, Beetle. I'd like to have a word with
No.
you. Perhaps over the salted meat or lambs. Those do sound quite good. But I seek answers. You know more than you let on.
What are you trying to say?
Let's talk. We'll eat, and I'll let you know about the evil I think the morning has brought to us.
Okay. Let's start walking.
All right.
I'm staying put until everyone leaves the area.
All right. You guys kind of walk out into the opening, the path that leads down. And you would think to turn around and see Gabriel, but the sight of the Mournland so much closer takes you aback. The river that surrounded this area and made its way down around the fort, which is still there. The river is nowhere to be seen. It appears that the walls of the Mournland have progressed further. And as they all go down over to the clearing and away from this hardened portal, what do you want to do, Gabriel?
So, when everyone's kind of out of sight, I want to walk up and kneel next to it. What kind of is like stone now, pretty much?
That's what it appears to be, yeah.
I'm
But
gonna
it
take
indeed is slightly cracking.
I'm gonna take out my light hammer and try to chisel just a little bit off of it.
With the hammer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty smooth. It's like basically imagine filled with cement. So there's no like edges really. It would have to be, you'd have to like smash it basically.
Gotcha. Well, in that case, I just put my hand over top of it and kind of make sure it's solid.
Yeah. It feels warm.
Okay. Oh my. I stand up and then I catch up to the group.
Okay. Sounds good. As everyone starts to make their way down the path leading to Arithon Keep. Everyone make a perception check for me.
Well,
14.
15.
Those are all really good.
19.
Those are all really good. Okay.
they just get better.
So this is an easy one because it means that you guys all notice this, which is great. Near the wall of smoke, the faces of the Mournland, you see a large area of ground, of grass, that looks like it had been burnt. Like perhaps there was a, not like a campfire after it's been put out, but very, very large, almost like a bonfire of some sort. There's lots of ash and soot, and the area is largely burnt there. The other thing that you notice is that there is a large, not necessarily large actually, a medium-sized House Lyrandar airship that is hovering about 30 feet into the air, just down the road away from the main gates of the fort. And you see a few sentries kind of standing on the walls of Arithon Keep. Now, only one person is going to clock this, which is the Warforged. As you guys walk back towards Arithon Keep, you, Mr. Warforged, who have yet to have a name, turn and see there's a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of what appears to be regular smoke coming up from another section of the forest you were just in, but on this south side. It's a small trail of smoke, not unlike one you'd see coming out of chimney. Maybe not your character see out of a chimney before, but that sort of thing. As you guys approach Arithon Keep, you hear yelling coming from the top of the walls as some of the soldiers spot you. And there's a bit of a commotion, right? You got some people who seem to be cheering and excited, some people yelling almost in fear as you guys are escorted to the front gates. The gates open. Let's switch this out real quick. Let's do... Okay. Well, that's a bummer. That's not working. Here we go. Just use this. There we go. And you see familiar face without Jam by her side. You see Chinara as you look around. Pretty much every single soldier is looking your way. So you hear some people, like the ambience of people moving some supplies and boxes and, you know, picking up armor and stuff in the background, but it's eerie, the amount of silence that you can hear over it, with the wall of smoke just over the walls, covering the river now. Panning down to see Chinara with her arms folded. You turn around and you see a string of soldiers carrying things from the airship that's parked outside. You look back to Chinara. Look back to Chinar. And there's a moment where it's kind of like a stare down. And after about 5 or 10 seconds of silence, everyone trying to gauge the situation and looking at Chinara and looking at your group, Chinara shoots you guys half of a smile. And that's where we'll end the session this time. So, let's go ahead and take them off. Okay. So, everybody, let's see if this works correctly. Nope. Hey, it works.
Oh, it's so
it
cool.
works. Hello, everybody. Okay, so, well, thank you for watching episode 2, The Color Gray. Lots of stuff to unpack in this one. You can check out the VOD if you're subbed. Also, these full episodes are going to go up on the Mighty Dungeon YouTube channel if you want to watch them after the fact. Warforged still doesn't have a name, but I feel like there's going to be next session, next Friday, is probably going to be a lot of talking. There's going to be a lot of explaining to do. And the group's going to figure out where they go from here. So thank you. And at this moment, players, I'm going to ask you guys to deafen yourselves in Discord for a moment while I give the stream and the video an extra little tasty. So, I'm going to stop streaming on Discord as well so they can't see. So, the group having emerged from the portal to Kyber 3 days after they went in, a lot has happened. The fort had to deal with the 2 sick soldiers from the morning sickness. The entirety of the soldiers and the outfit that was stationed had to be swapped out due to the atrocities that they had seen from the Mournland pressing forward in the absence of the heroes, and something that was drawing the Mournland closer, destabilizing
Yo,
the
Google.
area. What up? From here on out, the players will have to have a chat about why it seemed that this creature knew and referred to the goblin in their group as the Beetle. Figure out what their role in all this is, and deal with the consequences of all the things they were not there for in the last 3 days that have been erased from their lives. We'll see you next Friday, 5 p.m. for episode number 3 of The Mighty Dungeon. Forgot to do this before, but this is what we do now. This is the thing that will make sense for the cartoons. Goodbye. Goodbye.
I think that's it. We good?
I'll just stop the stream. That's the last thing in the video. It's we good. Closes.
Perfect time.